All right. Well, thanks for coming. I'm Julius Buzzard. I work here at Growing Hope. I'm the executive director. Been here for about 4 years. And so I think I missed a little bit of when you were really in our kitchen, Sean,
Yeah.
when you had or before you had your spot downtown Ipsy. But excited to chat with you a bit today as well.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm Deontay Bland. I am new to Growing Hope as of September, and I am the incubator kitchen manager. So I also would have missed you when you were in the incubator kitchen as well.
Oh, nice. Yes, yes. I know. I started like what, almost 8 years ago there at Kitchen.
Yeah, you were like an OG man.
Man, I think I was the second person there. And it's funny because I started doing the farmers market,
Hmm.
and it was exciting. I just sell little mini cheesecakes. It was
Yeah.
really fun, man. 'Cause we had a spot over. Nobody really knows as much. Ecorse Road.
Hmm.
I think it was known as. I think there was a Cuppies in there last. It was at Sunoco gas
Oh
station.
yeah, by the gas station.
Yeah, we was in there right before they was in there. We was in there for a year, and I was doing the Growing Hope markets and stuff like that. And Cynthia and oh my God, I forgot her name. Dana, yeah, Dana and
Yeah.
Cynthia. They was like, I got connected with them while selling my cakes, and they was like, hey, if you ever just want to grow it up, grow it up, grow it up, But we had our spot at Ecorse, so we said, we'll just pause. And then once the opportunity presented itself, we weren't in there because as they was getting it going, they was talking to me about it. So as soon as they opened up, it was me and then another lady, Chanel. We were the first two to open our little businesses in there, and it was pretty cool because it gave us opportunity to expand what we were doing. And I really appreciate that step up because it was very encouraging to be able to expand, but also have the safety and the ability and the wherewithal to know that you're in a good place. And Growing Hope, it gave us a good place to start. And a lot of people don't even know that we were there, but we've came a long way over the past 8 years. Some people say, "How does it feel to be overnight success?" And I hate that question because it took forever to get there,
Mhm.
and it started before that. So Growing Hope was an opportunity for us to just really um, put ourselves in a position to really grow. I mean, the irony of the name, right? No pun intended. And I will honestly say that it gave us the opportunity to see who we could really become instead
Mhm.
of just trying to jump in there. And it's so funny at the time. The irony of this whole situation, it was $13 an hour to be in that place. Fantastic, fantastic. So it really helped us, without us having to pull from somewhere else to catch somewhere else. It really helped us to be able to do what we had to do financially and have some stability on our products as well.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing all that.
Yes.
Yeah, we just have a few questions we'll go through. Continue to hear more about your story. It's really fun to hear that, especially since neither of us were quite here when you started.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were in where Cuppies was at.
Yep, we sure was. A lot of people don't. You know
Yeah.
what? You always got that restaurant that don't do good. No, and I say this all the time because a lot of people, don't understand. But in that 365 day year span, we probably made $1,000.
Yeah.
Funny, huh? When rent was 300, when rent was 3,000 a month, we made $1,000. And I tell people that all the time because, people when they start a business, they want to look like Starbucks now. They want to look like Google now. They want to look like all these businesses, McDonald's now, and they forget how they looked when they first began.
Hmm.
When they first was like, let's have these stepping stones to get to where we got to go. And when I was there, that's why I did the farmers market because it allowed us to get to where we are now. Allowed us to have a 20-seat restaurant in the mall, and then also one down in Toledo, Ohio, which we just have a little kiosk of cheesecakes. It got us there, so we didn't start off by putting ourselves in a financial situation where we want to look a particular way. We grew to that point, and
Yeah.
Growing Hope did that. But that gas station was tough, and I want to write a book called the toughest restaurant in the world. Man, it was tough, but it got us to where we are. It's character building, and
Yeah.
it was helpful for us to be successful to understand that route we went. I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, can you really take it back for us a little bit? So we've heard a little bit about like all of the other things that you now have at your restaurant, but why cheesecake? What's
Why,
you have
you
like a
know,
early memory of cheesecake? something you grew up with?
Our story is a little different, man. First off, I'm gonna tell you our name 24 Cheesecakerie stems from my birthday being July 24th, my mother's being June 24th, my grandmother's being September 24th. That's always a tongue twister for me, so I say it very slowly. The name just came about. It's a symbolic name. It has something that could really grow with us, and it just a cool place to have a cheesecake is a cheesecakerie. And why cheesecakes? None of us grew up eating cheesecakes. My grandfather made cheesecakes maybe once or twice my whole life growing up. I'm 36 now. I never had cheesecakes growing up. But what it is I'm a science guy. I'm into physics. I'm into a lot of things that you have to put things together and make things happen. And a lady asked me to make her a cheesecake one day. And I found a recipe online. And this is about maybe 12 to 15 years ago. I made the cheesecake. It tasted good, but it could have tasted better. So what moms and I did, we took a recipe and we just broke it down, and we didn't like nothing in the recipe. So what we did was we went and bought our own ingredients. We created our own recipe, and that recipe that we created was something that we enjoyed. And I worked at a country club called Travis Point at the time, and I took what I had left from my recipe and I took it to Travis Point with me to work one day, and they was like, "Yo, this is awesome." I said, "Thank you." So after that, I decided to take another slice when I moved over to the Eagle Crest Marriott. I decided to take some cheesecake over to the Eagle Crest Marriott after one of the guys that was the kitchen manager at the Travis Point Country Club worked there as well. And they tasted it. They said, "Yo, let's do Chef Sean's cheesecakes." So now I went from making the small cheesecakes to really producing cheesecakes on a bigger scale at establishment of, I don't know if you are familiar with Eagle Crest Marriott, which is right across the street, so I'm sure you are, or across the bridge rather, and allowed me to just make a plethora of cheesecakes. I mean, no matter from the classic original all the way to whatever I wanted it to be. When the corporate guys came in, the guys that owned the Marriott came in, they always requested a cheesecake. Sometimes it wasn't always easy. Sometimes cheesecakes came out good. When I first began, because I was making them from one cheesecake to making a bunch of cheesecakes. It does sometimes. It messes up and things don't come out the way you wanted to come out. So it was a good opportunity for me to really control and understand how I'm going to put these together so I don't have any bad cheesecakes coming out, going from one cheesecake to making 20, 30 cheesecakes at a time. And moms and I, we took it to effect like, "Hey, this is beautiful. We love doing cheesecakes. We found a cheesecake we love. Our ingredients we use top of the line. We make some of our own ingredients. To the point where we make our own cream cheese. So it was at a point where that's why when the cream cheese the cream cheese short happened, we was ready for it. We make our own cream cheese. So it was kind of awesome that we were allowed to make a lot of these cheesecakes and then meet different people, which put us in a different position, then started doing a Jamie Morris radio show, which is a U of M 10:50 a.m. He played played football for the University of Michigan. And it was more about cheesecakes. And then, we opened the first store in Briarwood, and then it was on from there. But what really got us to where we are now was the humbleness. We did the Girl Scouts of America competition for cheesecakes to help raise money for Girl Scouts to go to camp. It was just a fundraiser, just to have fun. You got a plethora of restaurants from Ann Arbor coming to this event. It was over at Washington Community College when it first started. And the best part about it was they give you the cookies. So they give you whatever cookies you want to make cheesecake with or whatever dessert you want to make. And then, of course, they gave me a couple more boxes of Thin Mints because I love Thin Mints. That's my thing. My dad would buy 3 boxes of Thin Mints and then buy like 2 boxes of his cookies, and all the Thin Mints would be gone in 2 days. So, we started doing that, and I was able to get really creative with the Girl Scouts cheesecakes, and the mall approached us. And the first time we couldn't do it, we had to say no. The rent was like $4,500 a month. We couldn't do that. So we had to say no. Then we got to a point where it was okay for us to do it. My wife said, "Sean, quit your job." We just had a son, which is my short man, Sean. I don't know if you see him on my social media all the time. He's my short man. Normally he's here with me. We just got a German Shepherd. He's about 3 months now, and he does not want to be at work today. It's Valentine's Day. He wants to love the dog today. So, we got into the mall, and, cheesecake has been our thing ever since. But the biggest thing was we just wanted to make some high-end, awesome cheesecakes that people can afford. You don't have to go to Novi. You don't have to go up to, anywhere without a 20-mile radius to get some awesome cheesecakes. We got it right here in Ann Arbor. And, we have the best cheesecakes in Ann Arbor, and we want people to enjoy it for a good price. So why cheesecake? That's why, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you mentioned that there came a moment when your wife said, Sean, it's time to quit your job. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Like what were the real deciding factors that showed that how and when it was time?
The deciding factor is that she's an awesome woman. That's the deciding factor. You
Cool.
know, when and it's so funny. It's like, you look at it like we're like a book. You look at it and you say, wow, how did some things happen? How some things did not happen? It's like that. I met my wife. I have my first wife before her. We weren't in cahoots, and we just decided to call it quits. And I met my new wife. We both GM as Five Guys.
Okay.
And when we decided to have our son, we was making bank too. Like we was really doing really good financially. We was well over 100K a year. But it got to the point where my wife said, "Sean, I know you love to make cheesecakes, and I just want to be with my boy. He was my first boy. I want to be with him every day. I have 3 kids, a 15, a 10, and I have Sean, which is a 5, and my boy, he's the youngest, and I just want him to be with me every day. So my wife said, "Hey, Sean, I can bring him to work with you. You can bring him to work with you. You can make cheesecakes, and let's just run with this opportunity." So I cut my hours, and I pretty much cut back. And my half of the money we didn't need to live on, we cut back financially, and we put ourselves in a position where she can really take over for the next 5 years. And I don't know, a lot of people that came to our store, you'll see my short man, he was always in the car seat, or, from 1 month old all the way to 5 years old, he was always at the store with me. And
Mhm.
she was able to see our growth. Not only did she help, mentally and just, spiritually and emotionally and things of that sort, but she also helped financially. She also provided us with seed money. My mom,
Mm,
my grandma, they put up a lot of money. And my wife, she helped as well for us to get going. Because opening a business is, it's a lot harder than saying I fill it out of the trunk of my car. It's a lot harder than saying I have a food truck. When you're opening a brick and mortar, you got expenses that you never ever in your life will guess you need to have. Like, whoa, I
Yeah.
didn't even know I
Yeah.
needed to buy that. And she provided us with that. And she gave us the opportunity where now we're trucking along, and now she's able to be at home with the kids. We're homeschooling the kids, and she's able to be there and teach the kids and homeschool with them. Um, so now I'm paying back my favor to her. But it was a journey, man. It was a big journey that she allowed
mm,
me to break away from what I was doing financially to start up something that is, it doesn't always work for everybody. I mean, as I told you, that first restaurant we had, we only made $1,000 the whole year.
mm.
But we learned. We didn't give we weren't giving our money places they didn't need to go. We were smart
Yeah.
about our money. And by the time me and her got together and we were able to grow that way, because if me and her would have tried the first time, we would be sucked dry and we would have been in trouble. But
Yeah.
because I learned my lesson, we learned our lesson. We was able to utilize the money, the finances we had, where I didn't have to put us in a financial situation where she didn't feel overwhelmed. I was
Mm,
able to grow and grow and grow in 5 years, and now we're in a better place. And it's for her mental health. Life is it's very stable, and for mine,
mhm.
it's running a business, so my mental health is never stable, but it's manageable. And we got a great team. The great team around us is what causing us to be that type. So having a team with my wife and having a team with my mom and my grandmother and the growth that we have and the teammates we have, man, everything is just outrageous.
Yeah. That's great. Super honest. Really appreciate that. And I know that.
Always, man. I'm always honest. Our core value, and a lot of small businesses, I don't think go this route, but our core value is to share your knowledge. Share
Mhm.
your knowledge. That's our core value. When you walk through our doors, regardless of what it is, people say, "Why don't you serve bacon at your store? Share your knowledge." Pork's not good for you. Why don't you serve shrimp? Why don't you do things like that? From the food aspect of what's not healthy for you to what's healthy for you. Why do you guys do monk fruit? Let's explain to them why we use monk fruit. When people come in, hey man, I want to start a business, which we've had a plethora of people come and ask that question, and giving them that business advice. That's what we're here for. We're not just here just to make cheesecakes. We're here to
Yeah.
share our knowledge, and that's gonna be our core value. When you see it on the billboard 10 years from now, you'll say, "Oh man, that makes sense."
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah, another thing I really appreciate is, I think that Black food businesses especially, they're always about more than like just the product, which you've talked about. You've explained how it's about resilience and innovation and sharing knowledge, and how you already see that fit in. I'd love to hear if there's any, you've talked about your family a bit, but if there's any like other like figures either within your community or beyond, historical Black figures who uh, motivate you or you look up to?
It's funny you say that because there's a lot of good people out here that like to, when they see something good, they want to be a part. Um, and I always have to thank, like I said, my good man Jamie. Jamie, U of M football guy, humble man, very humble man. When things were getting going for us, he was the one that said, "Hey, come on my radio show. Get some exposure out here. Show some love. Things like that." And he shows a lot of love. Because no matter who you talk to, you can't start something like this by yourself. You can't be able to put yourself in a position in the community without having help from any race at that, no matter Black, white, um, anybody. You need that foundation to stand on. And with him, he is the one that gave us that foundation to put us out there, get us in a different group, get us in a different setting, and just grow that way. And I really am honored the fact that we were able to be working with this guy for I think it's been almost 10 years now. I've known him and worked with him, and he has been nothing but humble and nothing but available to us to grow. Because when you put yourself in this position, you have a ceiling at one point, and you need someone to help. You need someone that's there for you. You need someone that's going to, be that type of guy that's going to be there no matter if it's good business or if his business is not doing so well. So having somebody in your corner that is always there to, give you that type of backing is really good for us. And the fact that he's still in Ann Arbor and still working with us and still humble, that has really, been advantageous for us to grow and just be who we are today.
Mm-hmm.
And then, another guy that works with us continuously, you may know him as Chief Rob Griffin. He's from the Belleville area, always a good guy, always a good guy. Sports figure. He's very into business, and he's just one of those guys that will humble himself to put himself in our shoes to work with us and help us to get to where we need to go. And Rob been with us for a while now. And when times get rough, guess who's right there? He's right there with us. He's right there banging it out from the back kitchen area to the front area to the media to the marketing. Like, he's that guy to be there to help us succeed. And sometimes when you look at different positions, you're like, wow, I could have made it here without this guy helping us there, or we would have fell short here if he wasn't there to give us a hand. So like I said, it's not all about us three. We have a great team around us. And the best part about having a team is some days I may fall short. Some days moms, grandmas, Rob, Jamie, whoever working for it, things might fall short. But having somebody in your corner to really help you succeed, and it takes a lot of pressure because people get run down, they get ran down, they get tired, they just get over it.
Yeah.
And being able to have somebody where I need to break. I'm not one of them guys. You never hear me bragging on Facebook. I work 24 hours, 7 days a week. I'm not that guy. I always ask them guys like, well, what are you doing wrong? I'm not up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not up at 4 o'clock. And some days I sleep till 11. Some days I sleep till 12, depending on what time I get off that night. Sometimes I get off at midnight. Sometimes I get off at 1. Sometimes we get off early. I'm not the guy to say I work 24/7 because that means something was done wrong in that process and I didn't manage my time well. So when it comes down to who we are as just trying to grow, we have a very great team. And whenever somebody needs to take a step back just to get themselves together, we always got somebody to step up. And those two guys are, man, they're big in this business. We couldn't have done it without them. We can't go too far without them. And as we continuously go forward, we're just always happy to be humble. I'm very humble. I'm conceited about my product because I have the best cheesecakes in Michigan. But I'm very humble when it comes down to understanding the business, and I'm very blessed to have a great crew.
That's awesome.
Are we unmuted?
Yeah, we are.
So when people walk into 24 Cheesecakerie, or take a bite of your cheesecake, what do you hope they feel?
I hope they want to share it with a friend.
That's great.
That's it. I just wanted to share it with a friend. I mean, I don't want to elaborate on it, but that's just what I hope. I hope they share it with a friend.
And I a follow-up question, beyond just dessert, what do you hope in 24 Cheesecakerie represents?
I think what I hope and what I see 24 Cheesecakery it represents the culture, man. It represents an opportunity, not just for us, but for a lot of people. We get a lot of people that come in to our store that wants to get to this point. Got a lot of people that come into our store that's at this point. And I just wanted to create a culture for us, because as and I don't ever say we're a black business. I don't go that route. We're a business. We don't emphasize on being a black business. We're happy to be black, man. We're happy for our heritage. We're happy for our culture. We're happy for our ancestors that did it before us. We're happy for those that allowed us to get to this point. We know what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We know what happened with the black businesses. We understand that. We're in a new day and age. And we really take a lot of pride in when people see us, they know we're a black business. So we don't emphasize on that. What we emphasize on is creating the culture of African Americans to say, man, how did you guys get there? Or, hey, let me help you get further. Or, hey, we would love to understand what makes your engine run. We want to understand who you guys are culturally. And I think that's what a lot of people get when they see us, because any day you come in, you might see my short man running around. You might see my grandma back on the grill. My grandma's 88 years old, right? You might see my mom running around. You'll see my niece sitting on the couch watching her little tablet. They understand, they know we're a black business. But now they can see that we're a culturally enthused business. Like, we just want to be able for people just to have the same opportunity as us. We want people to, and if they can start ahead of trying to get this step, that step, and the third step to get here, we love that. We would love to give people an opportunity where they don't have to worry about trying to figure it out, having to worry about the hard stuff, having to worry about the things that they never thought would happen in a business. We love to give them stepping stools. We love people to come and ask questions. I say that all the time with the radio. Come in, say hi. I'll sit down with you. If I have time, I will sit down with you. I've talked to you. I've had plenty of people come on inside, and I've sat down with them. I've explained to them exactly what we went through. Yeah. And just to say that, my brother just opened up his LLC the other day, and I don't know how many times I hear people come to me and say, "Yeah, I bought my EIN number. I got my EIN number." I'm like, "Why would you buy something that's free?" You know why? Because when we first opened up back in March 2019, I paid $245 for an EIN number off the internet because I clicked the first website that has had EIN number. It took me about 72 hours to get my $245 back. Plus, I had to close my card, which had to wait another 5 days before I could use my card. That means I go into the bank. I'm a young guy. We don't go inside banks. We use the ATM machine on our cell phone, right? So my brother calls me up. He said, "Sean, man, I need my EIN number." I said, "Here, use this website." It was free. The government is always free. You can always apply for EIN numbers. They're always free. And I want people to know that, because a lot of people will pay for something $245. Now, granted, to me, that's a lot of money. $5 is a lot of money to me, but, it might not be a lot to you. But who wants to waste $225 or $245 for EIN number when you can use that on products, you can do that on services, and things of that sort, And that's one thing we like to just teach others. We want that to be a culture thing. A lot about our cultures we just don't know. When we were working with another group of people, things didn't go as well. And a guy came to me and said, "I'll do your website for $4,000. Yeah, right, son. I did it for $250, and that was just the domain price. I made my own website. If you go to 24cheesecakerie.com, I made that up. It took me about 2 weeks because I had to work every day, but we got it done. And I think as we continuously teach our culture what to do and how to do it, we're going to be way more successful than giving our money to a lot of people that just don't deserve it. And when it comes knowledge, comes power. And like I said, we like to share our knowledge.
Great. Yeah, I guess I'm interested to know or hear about any other ways that you're sharing that knowledge, or that you would like to be able to share that knowledge that maybe you don't have like the time, the space, whatever to do right now, but you're dreaming about.
When we was in Ypsilanti, we were downtown Ypsilanti for about 2 years now. And it really opened us up to do so, man. We was able to have people come in, we was able to just talk to people in the community, because it was right there. We had the setting for that. In the mall, you really don't get that type of setting where people can come in and give you and just sit down and have that type of conversation. Between mall hours, they close at 9. Nobody's gonna come to a conversation after 9 o'clock. Some people maybe, I don't know, but we really haven't dug deep into it. So now we're just, we're always available for people, and it's just not people. Period. It's also our employees, man. And it starts with them. We have great employees. It starts with them. Our employees are our number one customer. And I think that's where sharing our knowledge really takes a lot of it has a lot of standard to it. Because if we can teach them, they can move on and teach another person. I don't want somebody to work for me for a year and feel they have to stay here for a year. If you can learn what you need to learn from us, we want you to move on. Because not only does our employees work for us, we also teach them the business. We have an open book policy. We teach them the numbers. We teach them what to do. We teach them what not to do, things of that sort. And I think what sets us apart as 24 Cheesecakerie is we have the ability to do so. We have the ability to just change people's mindsets on the difficulty of business and make it a little harder, because no matter what, business is going to have its ups and downs, but it doesn't have to really be difficult. What's difficult about it is what you don't know. When you don't know something, that's when it's difficult. When we bought an oven for our new establishment, last thing I knew was we had to pay $130,300 to get it installed. Who knew that? I didn't know that. I would have installed it myself. Probably not, but still, I didn't know it was $1,300. We bought the oven, like, yeah, we got the oven. Next thing you know it, oh, we got to install it. Hey, can we get it installed? Yeah, it'll be $1,300. Okay. Well, so now we know, and now it's just the little things. The inspections. You need like 50 inspections. They all each cost money. You get prepared for that. So when you're getting a loan or getting money, we didn't get a loan, so everything just came out of pocket. But you know how much money to have. Because the worst thing it is to go get a $20,000 loan when you need $22,000. So I think right now we don't have the ability to just have people come in and understand who we are, but we do have the ability to talk to people, communicate with people. I get phone calls, believe it or not. I get phone calls from people that say, "Hey, man, what about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this?" And it happens more often than not, where people just call me up and just ask me questions. My cell phone's on the internet. I don't know how, but it is. People call me from it. So they give me a call, and, I'm more than happy to talk to them, meet us at the store. I met husband and wives. Me and my mom would sit down and saw the three of us. It never was just me. I'm the youngest of the bunch. Mom and grandma know a lot more than I do. I know the modern day, and they know the overall business and everything like that. I didn't graduate college. Mom and grandma, they both have culinary degrees. Me, I just know the business, and I know a lot. So, I was able to really get myself together. I tried to do the college thing. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. I read a lot of books. Like I said, I homeschool my kids. So, I read a lot of books growing up. And, so it's able to give me opportunity to expand my mind and help us grow. But, they have everything that we need to know. And I just have the common sense and the wherewithal to make sure that when people got good questions, I got good answers.
That's awesome. That's great. As we just have a couple more questions for you, but wanted to say if there's anyone watching online who wants to ask their own question, feel free to put it in the comment section, and we'll get those answered.
Yes.
Yeah, you've talked throughout this process about some of the hurdles you've overcome. Um, can you kind of maybe give us an insight for you, what food sovereignty would look like and ideally looks like?
Oh, can you guys say one more time? It's too loud over here. Say it one more time. I'm turn my phone up.
Oh, yeah, no, I was saying you've mentioned a lot about the hurdles that you've overcome owning your business and especially in the starting process and still. So I was wondering for you, what does food sovereignty look like?
It's it's one of those situations where you just have to know. You have to know what I would say, not what you're doing, but pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to around you. Pay attention to what is happening. We get caught up in saying we have something. We get caught up in being at this hurdle when that last hurdle was here and the last one was even lower. You get caught up at the hurdle you're at, right? And you don't look beyond that hurdle because right now you're trying to deal with that situation. And that was something that we, got caught up in a few times about just saying, okay, we're here now. Let's deal with this, not paying attention to what's next. because the more successful you are, the higher the hurdles get. The bigger the problems. The more you have to, really look around and say, okay, what's happening here? When Planet Fitness opened up, we wanted to make sure that we had something that was available to the people working out. Let's just say having smoothies. Let's just say having the proper food for them, things of that sort. We didn't get caught up in the fact that, okay, guys, we're here and we're in a good place now, so let's just be happy with that. No, we lived beyond where we were at that point. We knew smoothies is something that likes to be had after workouts. We know that people like to eat more healthier with chicken dishes other than pork or beef. We don't do pork, so other than beef and things of that sort. So we had to look ahead, because if we were stuck on where we were, we would have been in a bad position because we wouldn't have been ready for the next step. And I think a lot of people, that when they get to a position, they see a lot of people around them that want to lead them down the path of darkness, because they feel like, oh, maybe that's a good opportunity for me because I'm here now, instead of looking into that path. And once they get down that path, they'll say, oh man, that was a bad path for me. When reality, the light was hanging over their head all along, So being able to see past where we're at has really helped us in a financial state where we're not putting out more than we can chew. Mm-hmm. But in a sense of your question, being able to adapt and realize that, you know what, we got this taken care of. We started working on something like smoothies or healthier meals. Now let's look out further and see what's going to be the next thing that's going to come our way, instead of trying to play catch up and then get bad advice and then just try to throw things together to make them work. If that makes any sense to you. 100%. We've been more focused and more diligent in our actions based upon forecasting our abilities to be successful, more so than trying to jump on a wagon or trying to jump on something and falling short the opportunity, and just paying attention to the people around us. Because, to be honest with you, this is business. Not everybody's good for you. We had a lot of friends and family that just did not work out because they sucked. And I'm just being honest. They feel like they mean good to you, but they're only in it for themselves. Mm. And I think that's a lot of times when people miss that, because they see what's happening right now. They don't see what's going to happen in the future. They don't see people, they don't see people coming in late every day, coming in late every day, because you using excuses on why they're late. So when you open up something for them later on down the road, and you realize, okay, they were always late here, now they're always late there. Now we got to shut it down because nobody's there to really pay attention. And we did that. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I've made, was putting people in position that they didn't belong in. And I learned from it. And, moving forward, and it was a $40,000 debt it put us in, and that's all my fault. I take responsibility for that, but it was a learning tool for us. And that's just one of those things that moving forward, we have paid attention to. And that was about 2 years ago. So now we pay attention. We pay attention to aces in their places. And if you belong, you belong. If you don't belong, you don't belong. But at the end of the day, you just got to watch out for the future and not just keep living in the present if you really want to be successful.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Great. I have one others, which is, you're in the shop today.
Yes, sir.
I think it'd be cool. People would love to see what it looks like.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah. we're inside Briarwood Mall. It's a cool thing because we're near the entrance of Briarwood Mall. Pretty much next to Planet Fitness. They're right across the hall from us. And then down there you got Cinnabon and Forever 21. And this is our 24 Cheesecakerie. We did 24 CC. It was a heck of a lot cheaper to have a 24 C than Cheesecakerie. We got a whole cheesecake store. It's pretty cool because you come in, sit down, have some lunch, watch some television, and it's really nice out here. We've been here for 6 years. We've been in the mall for 6 years, and we have really put ourselves in position to just do what we love to do. People say, what's your secret ingredient? And it's not love. People say love all the time. That's so out of whack. Our secret ingredient is time. And the reason why I say, because it goes both ways. For a consumer, and it goes the other way for us as owners and business workers and managers. For the consumer, it gives you time to be with your family. We can make you a meal. We can make you a cheesecake. That's less time you have to spend in the kitchen. And then for us, it's time. It's time for me to spend my boy. The time, mom and grandma get to spend doing the stuff they love to do. The time for us to spend time together. I hang out with my mom and my grandmother every day. Not a lot of people can say that. And that's very sentimental to us because it started with my grandma's catering business back in, shoot, I don't know, I want to say 40 or like maybe 60, 70, back in the 60s and 70s. Then my mom jumped on because catering got her through college. And then here I come. And then, of course, I got my 4-year-old short man. He up in that picture over there trying to get some cheesecake. Then I have that guy. He's 5 now. He's 5, and he's back there. He's cutting up veggies. He's back there. He loves making egg salad. I don't know why. He loves boiling eggs, but that's what he loves to do. And it's really cool that we have the opportunity to do that because, time is of the essence. We don't have a lot of time in life. And I think the fact that we're able to spend time with each other every day doing what we love to do, you're able to spend time with your family because you're not stuck in a hot kitchen making food. You're not stuck in a hot kitchen making cheesecakes. You can come pick it up. It's good to go. Our cheesecake prices are probably the best around town when it comes down to cheesecakes. And not only are you paying for a cheesecake, you're paying for quality products. We got a high-end cheesecake at a quality price. And I know eggs are going up. We're not raising our prices because the eggs are going to go back down eventually. But as of right now, our prices do not rise based upon what's going on. We bite the bullet and we keep our prices the same. But what we like to do is make sure that everybody get an opportunity. When you come into our store, ask for a sample. We'll cut you up a sample, try it, take it home, eat it here, ask for a sample. We love doing samples. We love doing a little bit of everything. You want to sample the steak chili? We have some of that for you too. If you want to sample anything, steak sandwich, whatever you want to sample, we'll put it together for you. And that's just, who we are. And the best part about it is we're going to continuously grow and have what we need to have because maybe you won't see me next time. Maybe you might see Short Man. Unless we do this next year, then you might see him. But he's going to take over for me and then the next person. Generational wealth is not having a bunch of money, giving it to your kids. Generational wealth is having the ability to have your children grow off of what you have already set a foundation for. You can give me $1 million, I'm going to spend it tomorrow, or you can give me $1 million in knowledge and I will have it for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. So we appreciate the love that we get and that we have. And, we're just going to keep it a family affair. But our secret ingredient is time. And our time is going to always work for you. It's going to work for me. And back circling around the Growing Hope has given us the opportunity to really be able to have the confidence to do what we got to do. I don't know if this is a Growing Hope POA or PSA or whatever it is. But no, Growing Hope was a big thing for us. We left. We came back. It was open arms to us. It put us in a position to continue to do what we had to do. And, and if anything was to come up again and we left, I'm sure we'll be back with open arms. So we was there from the beginning. It all started off as a Growing Hope Farmers Market. It moved on to the incubator kitchen. They asked me for my advice for the kitchen. I was able to give them some advice. This was about 10 years ago, so don't ask me what it was. But,
everything that's good about the kitchen, I'm sure.
yes. And I grew up in the kitchen was a little box. It was a little box. Now it's this whole thing. When we were there, it was a little box. You had a couple coolers. You had to make it work. It was small, and just like us, it grew into this the ability to make sense for a lot of people. And now we start off with just me and Chanel being 2 people. And now I think there's about 25 to 30 people, maybe, I think in there, 20, 25, I can't remember, but it was a long list. And, as a person that took it to where we had it at, it was nice being able to do what we was able to do. Even my son was there when it first opened. He was in his little car seat. He was there in the beginning. So it's more to it than just the kitchen. It was our way of life. It was how we was able to escape the corporate world and become something that, we would have never imagined becoming if we didn't have Growing Hope. Because to be honest with you, I didn't even know what an incubator kitchen was until Dana brought it to my attention at a farmer's market one day. And I wouldn't even thought I'd be here, and, even though sometimes, you do have to break away from the Cheesecake store to get some finances, but you always come back. You always have a crew. If we're getting in a situation where mom needs to get a job, she'll get a job, come back. If I got to get a job, I'll get a job, come back. So it's not bubble gum and gummy bears all the time. Sometimes we actually got to leave here and do this and go somewhere else, work, and then come back and then work and then, make it worth financially makes more sense for us. So it's not going to always be easy. 6 years in, we're hoping to get to that 10-year mark. And then that 15-year mark, next thing you know it, we're hoping that, we got some IPOs out there. So it's going to be a nice little situation for us as we continually grow. And Growing Hope is probably, I will brag about Growing Hope for the rest of my life, just for the mere fact that we don't forget where we came from. Mm-hmm. And that's where we came from.
Sean, for folks that are listening who are inspired by your story, what's the best way they can connect with you, not just for Black History Month, but moving forward to support you in the 24th Cheesecakerie?
Oh, yeah, I would love for people to talk to me other than Black History Month. I would love that. I'm here in March, too, and June and July. But no, all seriousness, man, you can give me a call, 734-489-4707. And I don't mind putting my cell out there. And if I don't answer, leave me a message. You can always text message me, too. If you're just looking for 24 Cheesecake, we're at 24cheesecakerie.com. Or inside Briarwood Mall, next to the Truco Beauty Spa, same right next to Planet Fitness. We're 2 stores in. And right to the left, you'll see this big open with some TVs and some good food. You better smell the aroma, the aromatics that come through our kitchen. And, I'm always here for good conversation. And, we're always good to meet up and come to the store, hang out, ask a few questions. That's what we're here for. I think sharing our knowledge is going to be something, that core value that lasts forever. And, it may be in a book one day, who knows? But I know a lot of times when people, start businesses, they're so focused on the product where, I really don't like talking much about the product more than who we are as a person, because guess what? We might have the best cheesecake in the art, but you can get cheesecake anywhere. And if you feel like if you feel like a cheaper cheesecake is what you want to go for, good for you. But we look at ourselves as more as a come enjoy some good food, come enjoy some good quality food. And, we just want people to know that we're an awesome business. We're awesome 24 Cheesecakerie. And, you're going to get what you pay for. And best thing about it is our prices aren't that bad. So, when people want to come in just to hang out, just to do some talking, that's good. And that's what we want to be known as. But what awesome more way to do that than having a slice of cheesecake?
Well, thank you. Really appreciate your time sharing it with us. And I think the next time we do this, we gotta get there so we can have.
Yeah, y'all can do it at my store next time. We'll be here. Yes. Oh, and one more thing I'd like to mention about us. I'm sorry. We also do an event at the Detroit Zoo every year, July 13th. It's a Sunday, which is cool because my boy loves going to see the animals. But it's a mental health walk, and it's a fundraiser that I take really high regards. It really hits close to home. And it is something where people get to have samples of cheesecakes. But the best thing about it is they get to get a lot of information on mental health. I know mental health, to me, it's mind-boggling. It's a conversation that I probably couldn't have with you guys over the phone, but it's something that 24 Cheesecake really stands on. And beyond cheesecakes, that is something that we take a lot of pride in. And just doing events like that, that is like something that you it's priceless, man. It's worth more than cheesecake can ever offer you. We started 4 years ago, and I'm sure we're going to be doing this 20, 30 years from now. As long as it exists, we will be there. But that's what cheesecakes mean to us. Cheesecakes is just an awesome way to utilize a good product and some good eats to just spread to the culture and to the world around us, especially in our community. So when you think of 24 Cheesecakerie, don't think of cheesecakes. Think of an awesome culture that you can enjoy cheesecakes at.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yes. So that's all I have for me, man. I appreciate you fellas sitting down with me and talking to me. I'm sorry about last Monday. We had something come up. We had a big order come in on Monday, and I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't get to it. But I'm here today. And on the Valentine's Day, they take care of my wife, so I feel good.
Well, we appreciate your time, and this has been amazing. It's been cool to hear more about your story and more about the culture of 24 Cheesecakerie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And anytime you want to hear something new, always got something new coming up. I appreciate y'all. And also, we got Valentine's Day meals going on too. If you love risotto, you love blackened salmon, we're doing sirloin beef tips, baked potato with a vegetable. We're doing a little meal deal. So I don't know if you see my Facebook social media posts. Come on in and get some good food, man. I used to work at the country club, so I'm expanding all my country club abilities, all my 5-star dining abilities into this small establishment. We have no waste, so guess what? The price is going to always be good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a good day.
Also.
Thank you. Bye-bye.